This video, we're going to discuss the force wall behavior. So I'm on a little space station type setup here, and I'm just going to travel through this hallway, and then something will happen, right? So I'm just walk through, and there's a big explosion, you can see the screen shakes and everything, and that has activated a force field, right? So I can't go up these stairs like I wanted to because this force field has shown up. If I try, then I get this kind of pushback. You can see it says you cannot pass, right? So that little repel pushback is happening every time I try to walk through that force field. So I got to turn that off. I'm just going to go through this door back here. There's an access panel that I can utilize to turn that off. There we go. And now if I come through here, that's been turned off. I'll deal with the damage to the base later, but I can just walk right up the stairs and on into this room. So let me show you how that behavior works. All right, so we have a particle effect here, and that's really just for the visuals, right? Because the wall itself is invisible to the player in my case. So if I click on the wall, you can see I just picked like this ugly blue wall to stand there and block the player, and it's usually invisible, but as I clicked on it, it became visible. And you have a prompt text here, which is what is it going to say when the player touches the wall? You can have it say whatever you want to. I just left it the default, you cannot pass. You have the force mode. That is going to be, what does it do when the player interacts with this invisible or visible wall, right? It could be visible, by the way. We'll get to that in a second. But it could be a static wall, meaning nothing happens. I just run into it and I can't move any further. In my case, I chose repel, so I kind of bounced off it a little bit. You could also hurt the player, or you could kill the player. I didn't want to die, so I just did repel to kind of get the sense that, you know, it's not letting me pass beyond this point until I go and turn it off. So I chose repel. The state of it, is it active or inactive? That's just for when the game starts. Should it start out active or should it start out inactive, or, you know, and have to be triggered? In my case, the wall itself, the object, is not shown at start. So it's inactive through a different means. And when I pass through this zone, that's the thing that's activating the wall. The wall has the behavior on it. And so I chose active because by that point, I wanted it to be active anyways. But there's options here depending on the kind of setup you're doing. I think originally this was intended for more like, think about like a racing game, for example. If you were, you know, going around a sharp corner and you oversteered and you bounce into the wall, what does it do? Is it hurt you? Does it repel you off the wall? Something like that. I think that was the original vision. I'm just using it for something weird. So you can have that either way. You could also trigger something. So you have the ability to trigger. If you do that, you can either link to what it is you want to trigger, or you can use the if used field, which, if you don't already know, is in the developer section right here at the top. You can type in the name of an object that you want to activate if this object is used. So that's what that means. So you can do it either way. Kind of depends. If it's a nearby object, you just want to drag a logic link to it, that's great. But if it's way far away, then it might be more convenient to type in the name of it. So you could do that either way. The visibility, I chose invisible because when it's activated, I don't want you to see this ugly blue wall. I want there to just be an invisible force field. And that's what the particle effect is for, is to kind of give you the illusion that that's the thing stopping you rather than a ugly blue wall in the background. But you can also have it visible, just whichever suits your needs. Then you have the prompt display. You have local and screen. Now, if I do screen, what'll happen is it'll show up at the bottom center of the screen, which is honestly should have been like, that would have been preferable in this case, because I had a hard time showing you where the prompt text was located. And that's because I chose local, and that means it's local to the object, like nearby that object. So screen probably would have been a better choice, but that's okay. Then we have the nav mesh block. Now, in my case, I left it unticked simply because there's no need. I don't have any AI. I don't have any characters walking around or anything like that. But if the scene has AI, let's suppose you have a soldier or something, they shouldn't be able to walk through the force field if you can't, right? So you could put the nav mesh block on, and that would stop them able to go through the wall that was otherwise stopping you. Then you have the sound effects. Now the sound is always listed up here in the description. I always rely on that to remind me which sound does what. So you have sound 0, which loops an active sound. So you heard that kind of drone sound is actually what I'm using to indicate that the force field is on, and it just loops. And then you have a sound to play when you actually impact with the wall. So you have two different sound options there. But that's it. That's the force wall behavior explained. If you enjoyed the video or if you learned anything new, please be sure to click the like button down below. It helps me out. If you're new here, if you just haven't subscribed yet, would love to have you stick around. Please be sure to subscribe. And lastly, if you'd like a notification for whenever a new video is posted, just click the bell icon and that'll let you know when a new video is ready. Thanks so much for watching all the way through. I always appreciate that, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now. Hey, don't forget there's a written guide for every behavior, including ones I haven't yet covered on this channel. And if you want to learn some more, why don't you check out this video next.